Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Handhelds. I'm Joey, and today we're going to be doing a showcase of 24 Sony Playstation 2 games running on the Anbernic RG405M. Before we jump into the reason you're all here, let's talk about the settings I'll be using as a base for all these games. If you watched my RG405M setup video, it'll be similar to that except a few changes. This is Aether SX2 version 3668, and what I found to be the best version without ads, and the same as my setup video. I'll leave a link to where to get it in the description of this video as well. I'm also using PAL ROMs for all of the games, except 2. Okay, let's jump into the settings. If you're starting from a default install, just follow along and copy what you see on screen. I'm going to go rather quickly, so you'll just have to pause and make sure that you check everything. For those that used my previous video settings, the only thing that's changed here is that we're going to start off with no underclocks. It was a mistake from my setup video and something that I'm going to correct here. I'll also point out any games that need changes though. Most of the tweaks that are needed here come from the compatibility spreadsheet that I'll post in the description as well. It's meant for Retroid Pocket 3 Plus and Flip, but since we're using a T618 chip here as well, it applies to these games as well. One small note I want to mention, you may have noticed Daijisho won't load into your save state automatically when loading a game like it does for DuckStation. There's no fix for this right now, and unfortunately neither for DuckStation anymore since the new update. So the only workaround I found when loading from Daijisho is just to manually enter the menu and click load save state yourself. Let's jump into the games. I'll do at least 1 minute of unedited gameplay for each so you can see the good and the bad. Starting off with AR Tonelico Melody of Elemia, this is a game that looks and runs great. One of a few JRPGs on this list that are fully playable. And I wonder if they were all made with the same engine, as they seem very similar. You'll see. Atelier Iris runs great, haven't really come across any issues here, and like I said before, it's one of the few that will run close to full speed as a JRPG. Same as AR Tonelico.
That's all for you! Haha! We won!
You okay? Did he get you?
I'm fine.
I haven't seen you around here before.
You could say that.
Traveling a...
What? I could have killed it myself.
Of course you could. There's a town nearby called Caval.
I don't need any help.
Okay.
Don't even bother with this next game. Champions of Norrath is basically a slideshow. There's no point. Girls, which has one of those interesting anime openings, is dark. I mean, dark on screen. It was dark to see while recording, to avoid you seeing my reflection, but seems to run fine. This was a viewer request, not for me. For this next game, Dark Cloud, we need to change the hardware download mode to unsynchronized. It has some major dips, but otherwise runs pretty well. The change that we made makes it run super quick, so it might not be for everyone, just as a heads up. Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King, just does not run well, and I wouldn't bother playing this here. Let's get this one out of the way quickly, and only because it was requested. God of War will have dips and struggles, even with EE cycle rate set to -1, EE cycle skip set to 1, and hardware download mode to disable readbacks, but it's playable if you have no other choice. For Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, set EE cycle rate to 50%, hardware download mode to unsynchronized, and 8 times anisotropic filter. That is a word I have never had to say before. It's playable, definitely, if you have patience. Probably not the best way to play it, like a lot of these games that you're going to see today.
Come with me or what? You don't want to push me again. Oh! I'm taking you in. Watch where you're going. best you got? You gonna hate this.
Mana, Khemia, Alchemists of Al-Revis. It's a game that runs great on here, similar to Atelier Iris and AR Tonelico. Seriously, these names. Manhunt needs a small tweak, EE cycle skip set to 1. With that, there's still dips throughout, but it's definitely playable if you want to play it here. With EE cycle rate set to -2, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater runs pretty good. Definitely worth a try to play further, but likely to play well throughout. Need for Speed Most Wanted was a viewer request, and not playable in my opinion. I couldn't get it to work well. Maybe it can be done with a lot more tweaks, but nothing that I figured out during testing. Now for a game that I've been playing, Persona 3 FES has been running really well. Given it's likely one of the games people want to play on here, it's awesome to have this perfectly playable and working. Didn't get a chance to capture a battle, but what you see here is how it plays in those two. Another game that runs good, Phantom Brave, seems to have no issues at all that I can tell. JRPGs are just heating up this list. For a game with issues, Primal black screened during the intro and never recovered. Unplayable.
Is this your Jane Doe?
Yeah. Came in 2 nights ago. Hasn't come round yet. She's a fighter, though.
For our first NTSC ROM, Radiata Stories, or Radiata Stories, the spreadsheet says it's not really playable, but seems to be fine in the beginning here. So just be aware it might not be as you progress on, but I think it'll be okay.
I'm gonna beat you.
Rogue Galaxy is in the technically playable category after some tweaks. E-cycle rate to -2, E-cycle skip to -3, hardware download mode to unsynchronized to help achieve that. Personally, I don't think it's playable, but I think others might disagree.
You're pretty strong.
Rogue Ops seems to run fine, but I'm only in the tutorial section. This game is not for me, I'm not going to be continuing it, but I did some limited testing here and it seems to run fine. For another game that seems to run close to full speed most of the time, Shadow Hearts is perfectly playable. Took me a few tries to realize you need to time the hits, but otherwise seems like a good game. The Simpsons hit and run needed a minor tweak to run decently. Just set E cycle skip to 1. It's playable, with some stutters and choppiness. Likely not the best way to play this game, but it's a good option.
Chest pain! Having chest pain! Nothing lasts forever. Hey, Apu, give me a cola and I need another bucket of ice cream with mini pies.
What happened to the ice cream with mini pies your wife bought this morning?
Oh, I probably ate it. I don't remember stuff too good.
Another commenter request, Sly 2 Band of Thieves is not playable. It's a slideshow, and this is just the introduction.
Breaker Alpha Foxtrot, this is the Wizard. Do you read me, sitting duck?
This is Peking Duck. I hear you, Blizzard.
No, Sly, I'm the Wizard, and you're sitting duck.
I read you loud and clear, Lizard.
The second and last NTSC ROM on the list, Tales of the Abyss, runs basically perfect at full speed throughout. Another great option to play here, and like I keep saying, JRPGs are sweeping this list. The Warriors runs decently well. Some dips here and there, but seems playable. Weird game, but seems to run okay.
Come on, Reverend. Show them how to roll.
All right, it looks like you can handle yourself toe to toe. That'll only get you so far, my brother. You want to brawl with the Warriors? You gotta know how to rumble. Let's give the writer a real test.
I'm gonna pound you. I'm gonna murder your scrawny ass.
You getting mad, huh?
Piece of shit,
Use it, man.
pussy.
Come on,
You're
use
dead.
it on me.
You looking to get wrecked? Get ready to flex, chunks. Come on, punk.
I
You
hope the
ready?
boys got some.
I'm gonna murder your scrawny ass. You piece of shit,
House
pussy.
of Thieves,
You're
Chuck.
dead. Warriors, that's what's up. Looking to get wrecked? That's fucking dead.
I'm gonna
You
leave you
use
crying in
this
the
piece of
street
shit.
with your teeth in your hands.
Get
Got
ready to
that?
flex, chunks.
Fuck yeah!
Oh, fuck, that's hard shit right there. Come on, punk. You ready?
Don't hold back, shit. I'm gonna show you a real fight.
And for the last game on the list, and the one that needed a bunch of tweaks, Wild Arms 3 is kind of a slideshow, even with tweaks. Not a great experience. Might get better as you keep playing, but I'm going to cut it off here. And that's it for my 24 game showcase. As I mentioned before, I'll include a link to the community compatibility spreadsheet in the description, so you can see how other games are performing that I didn't show here. Keep an eye out for my Nintendo Wii showcase, which will be next. And that's it for this one. Hope you liked the video, and hope you all have a good one.